Alright, shalom. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah Bakathum to the brothers. Shalom Yahweh Shema Alathun Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah to the sisters. We are at Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge. Start at the 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group nor any other Christian organization. Alright, so tonight's class, this is the Lashawan Qadash class, alright? This is the Lashawan Qadash, alright? The Lashawan Qadash meaning holy tongue. Alright, Lashawan meaning tongue or language, or Qadash meaning holy, meaning to be separate. This is a holy language, right? A holy tongue. This language is separate, meaning it's different, it's separated from the other languages on the earth. The Hebrew language was separated from other languages on the earth. That's why we're the only ones that speak the ancient Hebrew, which is the Lashawan Qadash, alright? We are the main ones on the earth right now, right? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in the Israelite School, Universal Practical Knowledge, actually speaking the Hebrew language, actually speaking the Lashawan Qadash, actually speaking a holy language, the holy tongue, a language that is separated. The Lord allowed us to hold on tight and keep this language from generation after generation after generation. It's very, very important to learn your language. It's very important to learn our language. Our language is what makes us us. Our language is what identifies you and separates you, or separates us from other nations and other races of people. Like, based off of the language you speak, that's damn near your nationality. So whatever language you speak, that's attached to your heritage. Whatever language you speak, that's attached to your culture. Whatever language you speak is usually attached to the traditions, right? To your traditions. In this case, the Lashawan Qadash is attached to our language. It's like it's attached to our culture. It's attached to our traditions. It's attached to our heritage, all right? Which is the Lashawan Qadash, which is the language of the Jews, the language of the Israelites, which is the ancient Hebrew, known as the ancient Hebrew. So in tonight's class, we're going to go over possessive pronouns, but we're going to go over the pluralization of possessive pronouns. Now, last week's class, we didn't get a chance to completely finish out due to technical difficulties when it came to the Lashawan Qadash, but we will get over, recapping. Well, actually, no, not even a recap. We'll be going over the possessive pronouns, but the pluralized, but possessive pronoun plurals. All right. We'll be going over it one more time in detail as well, so we can actually have a good grasp on possessive pronouns and possessive pronoun plurals. Now, possessive pronouns, we went over possessive pronouns maybe about 2 or 3 classes ago. I want to say two classes ago, and that's why we're on possessive pronoun plurals. This is another foundation that we need when it comes to building sentences in the Hebrew, when it comes to correctly form and build and conjugate sentences in the Lashawan Qadash. This is one of the fundamentals. All right, we went over all of the pronouns, like subject pronouns, object pronouns, and possessive pronouns. But now we're on possessive pronoun plurals, which is still possessive pronouns, but it's a subgroup of possessive pronouns, just to how to pluralize it in the Hebrew or the Lashawan Qadash. Once again, this is very important to understand, to have a good foundation of when it comes to structuring sentences. I believe after this class, in one of the next class, next week, I'm going to be we'll be going over how to use "ah." All right, how to use "ah." How to use "ah" correctly. All right, there's actually a way to use I, but don't be be discouraged, and don't allow this to overwhelm you. All right. So we're going to get some things up on the board in a sec. Let's see. Let's see. Also, don't forget to sign in and check in as well. Put your name, city, and state. Don't forget that either. All right. Let's make sure everybody can see the board. All right. Don't forget to sign in. Make sure we all can see the board here. Okay, yeah, you guys can see it. All right, most high in Christ. All right, so these are your possessive pronoun plurals. Now this is about a little bit, pretty much almost half of the chart. I'm gonna put the rest on the board after I break this down. So possessive pronouns are possessive pronouns are always going to be attached to a noun. All right, so possessive pronouns in Hebrew, right? So the possessive pronouns in Hebrew, they're always going to be attached to a noun. They're never going to be attached anywhere else but to a noun. Now, does anybody know what a noun is? Right? So if I say a possessive pronoun is always going to be attached to a noun, anybody in class, do we know what a noun is? All right, you guys can answer if y'all want to. All right, but a noun is either a person, place, or thing. So a noun by definition is either a person, place, or thing. We may have learned nouns in maybe elementary school. We definitely touched bases on it in middle school. Then once you got into high school, of course, you already knew what nouns were by far. So nouns are a person, place, or thing. A noun is a person, place, or thing. So with that being said, possessive pronouns in Hebrew will always be attached to a noun. All right, we'll get examples on the board once we go over this chart. Now remember, a possessive pronoun will always be attached to a noun. Okay? The reason now in English, nouns and possessive pronouns are separated. They're their own entities, their own words, and they're completely different. In Hebrew, you have words and letters that are connected to other words. All right, some of these letters that are in Hebrew, if you ever sit down and read the Hebrew or try to look at the Hebrew, some of those letters that you see, right, are actually individual words on its own. They're not actually attached to the actual word itself. All right, but we'll break that down later. All right, but I'm gonna touch bases on it now. Just by letting you guys know, a possessive pronoun will always be attached to a noun. And it always goes at the end of a noun. Alright. So, what we have here is your ya. This is what your ya looks like in the Paleo or the ancient script. This is what your ya looks like in the Assyrian script or the modern script. Alright. So, Paleo, ancient script. Assyrian, modern script. Which is ya. Pronounce ya. Alright, ya. Not ya, but ya. Alright, ya. Ya. Not ya, it's ya. It's pronounced ya, which means my. So if you wanted to pluralize a noun, in English, when you pluralize a noun, you put an S behind it, right? All right. When you pluralize a noun, you usually put a S behind it. But in Hebrew, when you pluralize a noun in the masculine form, right? In the masculine form or the masculine tense, depending on the noun, it's young. It's young. It's young. Right, but in this case, when you're using nouns and possessive pronouns together, the yum, you no longer have to put the yum. You can just put the ya. So instead of saying, for an example, it's going to be written on the board, but I'm going to say it to touch bases on it. To say book in Hebrew is sapar. To pluralize the noun book, right? To pluralize the word book in English you would add a S behind the noun book, and it becomes books, right? It becomes books, right? In Hebrew, sapar means book. So sapar is book. But in Hebrew, when you want to pluralize a noun, you put yum at the end. So it would be saparyum. As in books, it would be saparyum. But now, if you wanted to say my books, right? In English, it would just be my book. The my would come in front of the noun. My book. Even if you pluralize it, right, it would still say my books. The my comes before the noun, my books. But in Hebrew, it's a little different. All right? In the Lashawan Qadash, it's just a tad bit different. Right? So if you want to say my books, now the possessive pronoun comes after the noun and it's attached to the actual noun itself. So it would be saparya. Now some would think, well, why will it not be saparyumya? Right? Well, that's because the rule of thumb is you drop the ma and you keep the ya, which is saparya, which means my books. Which means my books. Now, if we want to say your books, we would say, now people would think, okay, well we would say saparyum ka. No, you drop the ma and you put the ka there, and it's saparyaka. Alright, but here we go. Now this right here is your ya. This is your ya, and then this is your ka. Pronounce yaka. Right? Pronounce yaka. Yaka. This is in the Paleo or the ancient. Yaka. This is your ya in the Assyrian. This is your ya. This is your ka in the Assyrian. This is your ya in the modern. This is your ka in the modern. You'll put it together and it's yaka. Yaka is the pluralized pronoun for your. Possessive pronoun for your. Alright, so yaka is the pluralized possessive pronoun for your in the English. Yaka. Alright, yaka. So ya is the pluralized pronoun for my, and yaka is the pluralized pronoun for your. Yaka. Saparyaka, meaning your books. Saparya, meaning my books. Saparyaka, meaning your books. Alright? Fairly easy, right? Nothing too hard. Nothing too complicated. Now we have, this is your ya in the Paleo. Then there's your wa in the Paleo. Put it together, yawa. This is your ya in the ancient. This is your wa in the ancient. Yawa. Right? Yawa. 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 Right? Yawa. Right? Yawa. 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 Whichever you want to say it, that's correct. Yawa. So this is your ya in the Assyrian, and this is your wa in the Assyrian. This is your ya in the modern. This is your wa in the modern. Pronounce yawa. 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 Meaning his. Yawa. Meaning his. Right? So yawa is the plural possessive pronoun for his. So yawa is the plural possessive pronoun for his. Alright? Then you have yaha. Right? Yaha. Yaha. This is your ya in the Paleo. This is what your ha looks like in the paleo. This is what your ya looks like in the ancient. This is what your ha looks like in the ancient. Alright? Put it together. Yaha, 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 yaha. This is your ya in the Assyrian. This is your ha in the Assyrian. This is your ya in the modern script. This is your ha in the modern script. Pronounce the same thing as this. Yaha, 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 meaning hers. So yaha is the plural possessive pronoun for hers. So ya is the possessive pronoun, the plural possessive pronoun for mine. Yaka is the plural possessive pronoun for your or yours. Alright? Yawa is the plural possessive pronoun for his. Yaha is the plural possessive pronoun for hers. I'll give you some time to put it into your notes. Alright? Make sure you guys put this into your notes. Alright? You do not want to forget to put this into your notes. Alright? See what I want to do is what I'm going to do is add one more on the board. One more on the board so I can do the next four. I'm going to do the next four. Alright. What we have on the board next, underneath the other possessive pronoun plurals, is Yanawa. Yanawa, which means our. Yanawa meaning our. So, Ya, this is your Ya in the Paleo or the Ancient. This is your Na in the Paleo or the Ancient. This is your Wa in the Paleo or the Ancient, or it's pronounced Yanawa. Yanoah, Yanoah, Yanoah. Pronounce Yanoah. This is your Yah. Alright, this is your Yah. This is your Yah in the Assyrian, or your Yah in the modern. This is your Na in the Assyrian or the modern. And this is your Wa in the Assyrian or the modern. Which still is pronounced as the very same thing over here. Yanoah, 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 Yanoah. Meaning hour. So Yanoah is the plural possessive pronoun for hour. Alright? Yanoah. So you have Yah, which is the possessive pronoun plural for mine. Yakah, which is the possessive pronoun plural for your. Yahweh, which is the possessive pronoun plural for his. Yahah, which is the possessive pronoun plural for hers. And Yanoah is the possessive pronoun plural for our. Alright. Here we go. Alright, we're going to get the rest on the board. Make sure you guys have this into your notes, and then you guys can rewatch this class as well. All right. All right. These are the remaining 4 of the plural possessive pronouns. All right. What we have today is, right, these are the remaining 4 of the list or the chart when it comes to possessive pronoun plurals. The first one you have on top is your yakam, right? Yakam, or it's like it, yakam, yakam, all right? Yakam, 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 either or is correct. This is your ya in the paleo. This is your ka in the paleo. This is your ma in the paleo. Your ya in the ancient. Your ka in the ancient. Your ma in the ancient, which is yakam. 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 This is your ya in the Assyrian. This is your ka in the Assyrian. This is your ma in the Assyrian. This is your ya in the modern. This is your ka in the modern. This is your ma in the modern, which is a yakam. Right? Yakam. 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 Meaning y'all or you all or you plural. Y'all, you all, or you plural. In the position of authority tense. That's what that PA stands for. Position of authority tense or the masculine tense. So you would use your come referring to someone in the masculine tense or the masculine tense when using nouns and possessive pronoun plurals. That's when you would use your come or your come, your come. All right. Next you have is yakan. Alright, yakan. Yakan. Alright, yakan. Yakan. This is your ya. This is your ka. This is your na. Yakan. Yakan. This is your ya in the paleo. This is your ka in the paleo. This is your na in the paleo. This is your ya in the ancient. Your ka in the ancient. And your na in the ancient, which is yakan, 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 yakan. All right, yakan or yakan, yakan or yakan, yakan, yakan. All right. Then you have your ya. All right. This is your ya in the Assyrian. This is your ka in the Assyrian. This is your na in the Assyrian. All right. This is your ya in the modern, your ka in the modern, and your na in the modern. Put together yakan. Alright, yakan. Pronounce yakun, just like this, yakun. Yakun is y'all, or you all, or you plural, in the subservient tense, or the feminine tense. So yakun, or yakun, right, is you all, or y'all, or you plural, in the subservient tense, or the feminine tense. Alright? Alright, next you have is your yama. You have your yama. Alright, your yama. So this is your ya in the ancient. This is your ma in the ancient. This is your ya in the paleo, your ma in the paleo, which is pronounced yama. Just like over here, yama, yama, yama. This is your ya. This is your ya in the Assyrian. This is your ma in the Assyrian. This is your ya in the modern. And your ma in the modern was pronounced, put together, yama, 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 not yama, but yama, yama, yama. Alright? Which is there in the position of authority tense or in the masculine tense. So yama is the possessive pronoun plural for there in the position of authority tense or the masculine tense. Then you have your yana. There's your yana. You have your ya. You have your ya, and then you have your na. You have your ya, then you have your na. This is your ya in the paleo. This is your na in the paleo. This is your ya in the ancient. This is your na in the ancient, which is pronounced yana. Alright, right here, yana. Yana. This is your ya in the Assyrian. This is your na in the Assyrian. This is your ya in the modern. This is your na in the modern. Put together, yana. Yana, which is yana. Salaki, yana. Yana, which is there, right, in the subservient tense or the feminine tense. Alright? Alright. So now you have your yakum. Your yakum is you all or y'all or you plural. Right? Possessive pronoun plural. So yakum is the possessive pronoun plural for y'all or you all or you plural in the position of authority tense or the masculine tense. Yakum is the possessive pronoun plural for you all, right, or y'all, or you plural in the subservient tense or the feminine tense. Yama, yama, yama is the possessive pronoun plural for there in the position of authority tense or the masculine tense. Then yana, yana, right, is the possessive pronoun plural for there in the subservient tense or the feminine tense. All right. Make sure you guys put this into your notes. All right. Do not forget to put this into your notes. If you're logging into Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, make sure you put your name, city, and state as well when it comes to signing in and checking in. All right. Don't forget to put your name, city, and state. All right. For attendance. All right. So now we're going to get some examples on the board too. All right. Make sure you guys put this into your notes. All right. So, possessive pronoun plurals are pretty easy to understand. They're not too complicated. We're going to get some examples on the board. All right. We're going to use a particular noun that's very common, that's very commonly used. Right. Very easy to understand. All right. And we're going to get them on the board. All right. And get the examples on the board. Don't forget to put this into your notes. So we're going to use a common noun, which is book, which is sapar. All right. Write that down somewhere over here. All right. Directly into the glare. All right. So what we have on the board there to the left. So on the right, we're going to have examples. What I put to the left, you guys can see it. What I put to the left is the noun that we're going to be using, which is book. So sapar is the noun that we're going to be using, which is book. So sapar, right? Sapar. Sapar is book. So sapar is book. This right here is just sapar, right? But written in the ancient or the paleo. So this is your sa, this is your pa, this is your ra. Sapar, meaning book. Sapar, meaning book. This is your sa in the Assyrian, your pa in the Assyrian, then your and your ra in the Assyrian. Alright, your sa in the modern, your pa in the modern, then your ra in the modern, which is sapar, meaning book. So sapar means book. Alright, sapar means book. Let's see. All right. So we got two examples on the board. All right, we're going to get far more than this, of course, but I'm going to go in order. So here's some examples of possessive pronoun plurals being used in an actual sentence. All right. Now these are actually considered basic sentence structuring. Using if you guys did not know, if you know different nouns and you know possessive pronouns, you can create basic sentences in the Lashawan Qadash and in the Hebrew language. So once you know nouns and you kind of get the gist of possessive pronouns and possessive pronoun plurals, you can pretty much make basic structured sentences. All right. So remember, Sapar is book. All right. So don't forget, Sapar is book. So on the left we have Sapar. Right. We have the definition of Sapar and what it would look like in the Hebrew. All right. Salaki, I think I wrote Yapar. Salaki, I wrote Yapar and not Sapar. Alright, and I did that twice. Let me fix that. Alright. So lucky about that. Let's see. Make sure everybody can see the board. Perfect. Alright. It's like I may have room for two more, but I'm going to stop there and keep it simple. So, right here we have your sa in the paleo, your pa in the paleo, your ra in the paleo, and your ya in the paleo. Your sa in the Assyrian, your pa in the Syrian, your ra in the Syrian, and then your ya in the Syrian. Saparya, which means my books. I have it written on the other side so you guys know Sapar. Sapar is the root word. Sapar is the root word, right? Sapar is the root word, all right? Sapar. Sapar Yaka. This is your sa. Alright, in the ancient, your pa in the ancient, your ra in the ancient, your ya in the ancient, then your ka in the ancient. This is your sa in the Assyrian, or your sa in the modern, your pa in the modern, your ra in the modern, your ya in the modern script, your ka in the modern script. You put it together, it's Saparyaka. Saparyaka, meaning your books. So this is how possessive pronoun plurals would actually look in an actual sentence being said and written. Saparya, meaning my books. Saparyaka, meaning your books. Saparya, my books. Saparyaka, your books. Pretty easy to understand, right? Not too hard, not too difficult. Saparya, meaning my books. Saparyaka, meaning your books. So Saparya meaning my books, Saparyaka meaning your books. Not too bad, right? It's not hard. Remember, these are actually basic sentences being created in the Hebrew. These are literally basic sentences, right, in the Hebrew. All right. Let's get some more. All right. Not too hard. All I did was erase pretty much. The only thing I erased was the endings. All right. It's very easy. All right. Very easy. They're all pretty much similar. Make sure you study your notes and you go over this class. Alright, because the main focus on this class is possessive pronoun plurals. Alright, the purpose of this class is possessive pronoun plurals. Alright, so what we have on the board, we have saparyawa, right? You can see the root word sapar, then you have your yawa, sapar. Sapara, sapar, then yawa, saparyawa, meaning his books. Sapar, a sa, a pa, and a ra. A sa, a pa, and a ra. Sapar, right? Sapar yawa, meaning his books. Saparyawa, meaning his books. Alright? Meaning his books. Saparyawa. So if I want to say that's his books, I would say Saparyawa. Or I would say Hawa'a Saparyawa. Hawa'a Saparyawa. Hawa'a Saparyawa. Meaning that's his books. Salakia. That's his book. Or those are his books. Alright. Then we have Saparya. Alright. Saparya. Sapar. Alright. Saparyaha. Sapar Yaha. 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 Saparya. Saparya, meaning her books. Those are her books. Those are Saparya. Well, how Saparya? How Saparya? Those are her books. Well, that's her books. It'll be those are her books. So like it, those are her books. Saparya. 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 Alright, let's get some more of this. We're going to get more on the board. We're going to go through all of them. They pretty much all sound the same. Not too difficult. Very easy to understand. Alright. Very easy to understand. Alright. Alright. Now we have is Sapar Yanoa. Sapar. Sapar Yanoa. Sapar. Sapar Yanoa. Sapar Yanoa. Meaning our books. So Sapar Yanoa. Sapar Yanoa. Sapar Yanoa. Sapar Yanoa. Sapar Sapar, Sapar, Yanawa. Same thing. Sapar, Yanawa. Sapar, Yanawa. Sapar, Yanawa. Sapar, Yanawa. Meaning our books. So we say those are our books. We would say Sapar, Yanawa. Those Sapar, Yanawa. Or Hawa'a, Sapar, Yanawa. Ha-Hawa'a, Salaki, Ha-Hawa'a, Sapar, Yanawa. Alright? So Ha-Hawa'a, Sapar, Yanawa. That would mean those are our books. Our books. Sapar, Yanawa. Sapar, Yanawa. Sapar, Yanawa. Sapar, Yanawa. Sapar, Yanawa. Next we have is Sapar Yakam. Sapar Yakam. Sapar Yakam. Right? Sapar Yakam or Sapar Yakam. Sapar. Sapar. Sapar Yakam. This is your ka, this is your ma. Your ya, your ka, and your ma. Yakam. Sapar Yakam. Sapar Yakam. Sapar Yakam. Sapar Yakam. Sapar Yakam. Meaning y'all books. In the position of authority tense or the masculine tense. Y'all books. Y'all meaning you all or you plural. In the position of authority tense or the masculine tense. Sapar Yakam. 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 Meaning y'all books. So if I want to say these are your books, I would say Ha-Hawa'a, Sapar Yakam. These are y'all books. Sorry, Salaki, y'all books. These are y'all books. I would say Ha-Hawa'a, Sapar Yakam. If I'm referring to a group of men. Sapar Yakam. So Sapar Nawa, Sapar Yanawa, Salaki, Sapar Yanawa, meaning our books, Sapar Yakam, meaning y'all books in the position of authority tense and the masculine tense. Fairly easy, nothing complicated. Alright, make sure you guys put this into your notes. These are good examples to have, and these are very good examples to practice as well. Possessive pronoun plurals. This class is focusing on possessive pronoun plurals. Remember, possessive pronouns in Hebrew will always be used in conjunction with a noun. Possessive pronouns will always be used in conjunction with nouns. Possessive pronoun plurals, which is, alright, will also be used in conjunction with nouns. So possessive pronoun plurals as well will be used in conjunction with nouns. Alright. Salaki. Alright, let's get it. Let's get it. Alright, here we go. So now we have Saparyakan. 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 Remember, Saparyakan. 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 Or Saparyakan. Saparyakan. Y'all books in the subservient tense or the feminine tense. Saparyakan. 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 Like it. Now we have is Saparyama. Now, of course, reading it, sometimes we may think that they're saying Saparya, just meaning books. You know, Saparya, which just means books, which is not necessarily the case here. All right. All right. Saparyama. All right. Saparyama. Not Saparya, but Saparyama. Saparya. Saparya. Meaning their books in the position of authority tense and the masculine tense. Saparyama. 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 Meaning their books. Saparyama. Saparyama. Meaning their books in the position of authority tense and the masculine tense. So Saparyakan is y'all books in the subservient tense or the feminine tense. Y'all meaning you all or you plural. Alright? So Saparyakan is how you would say y'all books. Right? Sapayaka is how you would say y'all books in the feminine tense or the subservient tense. Then you have is sapayama, 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 meaning their books in the position of authority tense and the masculine tense. Sapayama, sapayama. Alright, sapayama, meaning their books. Sapayama. Do not forget to put this into your notes as well. All right. Let's get some more up there. I think there's like 3 more. I think about 3 more. 1 second. 1 second. Think that might be, let's see. Give me 1 second. God. Bottom. All right. All right. So now you have Saparyana, right? Saparyana. All right. Saparyana, meaning their books. It's either I forgot the I there, or it's hiding in between the E. Right? That's not how you spell it there. Let me get this right for you guys. All right, their books. Saparyana, meaning their books. Their books in the subservient tense or the feminine tense. Saparyana, meaning their books. Remember, Saparyana. All right, Saparyana, meaning their books. Saparyana. All right, Saparyana, meaning their books. All right, meaning their books. All right. Anybody online? Do you guys have anybody has any questions? La. All right, no questions. All right. All right. Any other questions? Okay. Okay. All right. So with that, that's the class. All right. So I'm in a Imadium, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give a courteous salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Man Shabbat, Amadi, Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua Bakatam, Yahya Matah, Saul Akwafim was turning face to sisters. Men of Israel, we're going to give a courteous salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Man Shabbat, Amadi, Barak, Yahweh Shema Alathan Ba'ashim Yahushua, Yahya Matah. With that, class dismissed.